Hello everybody. Today we are going to be looking at solving proportions. Please make sure as you go that you are taking notes. That includes all of the examples that I show you, and that you complete the survey that follows the video. Alright, so first before we get into proportions, we need to understand another key word, and that is ratio. So what is a ratio? Well, a ratio is a comparison of two quantities by division. You can write the ratio of two numbers, say A and B, where B doesn't equal 0 in three different ways. The most common way you're going to see this is A over B like a fraction. Okay, so this is what we meant by comparison of two quantities through division, because the fraction is a division bar. Another common way that I see it is A with a colon in between followed by B. So these are usually numbers, just so you are aware. And the last way is kind of written out in words, A to B. This could be written out in your instructions. Say, the ratio of rocks to pebbles is 6 to 5. And it would have wording like that used in your directions or your word problem. And you're going to see one very soon. So then moving on, we said we're going to be solving proportions. So what is a proportion? Well, a proportion says that two ratios are equal. So what that means is, you see how we have the first ratio of 2 over 5 and the other one of 4 over 10? Those two are equal ratios. Because if I were to take 4 over 10 and reduce it as a fraction like you've learned in the past, that will reduce to 2 over 5. Now these ratios are equal, so they are considered proportionate, and they are in proportion to one another. For example, 2 out of 5 is going to be equal to 4 out of 10. So if you think about maybe baseball statistics, for every 5 balls that you are getting thrown at, 2 of them are going to be hit. And in similar, every 10 balls that are going to be thrown at you, 4 of them are going to be hit. So do you see how it's going to be the exact same thing? It's still for every 2, 5. Okay? How do we use them to solve a problem? Well, think about this picture here. You want to redraw it so that it's 2/3 the size of the original. Let's say this was a really big picture and you want to draw that on your wall somewhere. So you want to make it 2/3 the size of the original. So what we do is we measure from the bottom of the face to the top of the face, and we find out that it's going to be 12 inches tall. So what we need to determine is how tall the new face should be, and you set up a proportion. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Now, like we said, our proportion is going to be the 2 to 3, as we said right here in the directions. Okay, right here in the directions is 2 over 3, so that's where this is coming from, where it's going to be length to width. And so we said that the height of it, base to height. The height of it is going to be 12, so that's why we're putting it with the 3. So now the way to solve this is using cross multiplication. So to solve a proportion, this is something you're going to want to write down because it's very important. You must multiply the numbers that are diagonal from each other and solve the equation. So specifically, we're going to do 2 times 12, and we're going to do 3 times x. And those two things are going to continue to be set equal to each other. 2 times 12 is 24, and 3 times x is 3x. And so what that means is my new drawing, the size is going to be 8 inches. Okay, so again, this is called cross multiplication. The face should be 8 inches tall. In the picture that you were drawing, it is going to be smaller since we want it to be 2/3 the size. Okay, so that's kind of what we're thinking of when we're doing these. So let's do a couple more examples. Now, not so word probably, just let's do it straightforward. So here's another one. I have a v over 3 equals 12 over 4. So like I said, we're going to be looking at the diagonals. And I'm going to multiply 4 times v, and I get 4v. And then when I multiply the other diagonals, 3 and 12, I get 36. So then from here, this says 4 times v is equal to 36. So you're going to have to kind of think about, well, what times 4 is equal to 36? And we know that v is equal to 9 because 4 times 9 is 36. On to the next one here. So we have m over 6 is equal to 12. So what we've been working with are proportions. So the best thing we can do is turn the 12 into a ratio, and that would be looked at like 12 over 1. And then we can repeat that same process. Cross multiply, 1 times m is 1m, and 6 times 12 is 72. Well, what times 1 is 72? Definitely going to be 72. Last one here, we have it where the variable is on the denominator. All the other ones, the variable was on the top, and this is on the bottom. However, it doesn't make it any different. We would still cross multiply, so we do 8 times the r and 10 times the 4, and we get 8r is equal to 40, which means the r is equal to 5, because 8 times 5 is equal to 40. Okay? Okay, the last one we have is a word problem. According to Ms. Kleinecrot, perfect cherry pies have a ratio of 240 cherries to 3 pies. She wants to make 9 perfect cherry pies for her classes. How many cherries does she need? When we are doing these, since I'm not giving you actual ratio in terms of like a fraction, what we want to do is come up with that. And so the way I like to do that is first come up with a little key. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to put everything about the cherries on top and everything about the pies on the bottom. So that's what I've decided to do. So now when I'm using the two original things, the ratio 240 cherries to 3 pies, I'm going to do 240 all over 3 equals, now on this side here, I need to decide where does this 9 go? Well, I want 9 perfect cherry pies. Well, according to my little key over here, pies are on the bottom, so I'm going to put the 9 down here like that. Which means my unknown, let's call it C for cherries, my unknown is going to go at the top. So now I'm going to cross multiply 240 times 9. This equals 2,160, and that is equal to 3 times C is 3C. So then I have to figure out, well, what times 3 is going to give me 2,160? A quick and easy way to do this is divide 2,160 by 3, and I get 720. Okay, so that means Miss Clanacrot needs 720 cherries in order to make her perfect cherry pies for your class. Hopefully you have taken notes and written down every single example. If not, you can always pause and rewind and go back. Please make sure you complete the survey after you've finished.